Good afternoon. It's Saturday, October 21st, and I just had a wonderful conversation with one of my friends, and I'm ready to share one of my videos with you. I'm sorry I haven't had any out in a couple of weeks, but there's been some getting ready for winter things going on here that have taken up a bit of my time. This is one I've worked on. It's about 17, and I want to get your feedback on it. So hopefully I can share the screen. Okay, so what is the deal with 17? This is connecting the dots with Deanne, and we're going to go through this. Okay, if my slide will advance. Yes, 17 is made up of a 1 and a 7. Numerology speaking, a 1 means new beginnings, and a 7 is about being a spiritual leader. The 17 represents energy that's very efficient, and it's an effective manager. 17 gives you the energy of a celebrity and of stardom. Number 17's root, 8, is the number of mastery over the material world, such as business and financial success. So, a little bit more, those who are born on the 17th of the month devote their lives to the search for meaning, the meaning of life, and the highest truth. Angel numbers. Angel number 17 symbolizes manifesting good fortune, new beginnings, and spiritual maturation. It can also signify a push for us to continue with our actions and encouragement that very soon we'll achieve our objectives. It can also be a gentle reminder to keep going. You're on the right path. Do not get distracted by what's going on around you. You're right where you need to be. So according to gematria, that's kind of like numerology, where A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and there's gematria calculators online that you can put words into and find out what other words have that same number, frequency, and match up. According to that series, Q is number 17 in the alphabet. So if we say, who is Q?
So Q is military intelligence. Q is quantum computing. Q is Q clearance. Oh, you can screenshot that and zoom in on it. All the coffee mugs say Q.
So there's a little bit about Q. In the Bible, the number 17 symbolizes overcoming the enemy and complete victory. So the 17th book of the Bible is Esther, which relates very much to the story of a Jewish woman in Persia who was known as Esther, who becomes the queen of Persia and thwarts the genocide of her people. Q is also one of the oldest manuscripts that they've found. There's a book called The Lost Gospel of Q, the original sayings of Jesus. And I would encourage you to look at some of the stuff. It's quite fascinating. It was found like long after the Bible was written, but I think that they think Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, some of those things, there's some things in there that may have come from the book of Q. So the Gospel of Q, also called QL, the Q source, also the Q document, Q gospel, Q sayings, there's a lot of ways it's referred to, is a hypothetically written collection of Jewish, Jesus's sayings. It's part of the common material found in the Gospels, Matthew, Luke, and John, like I said, and drawn from the early church when they had oral tradition, probably before the Bible was actually written. So there's a couple different variations of it. The Q, the earliest gospel, the Gospel of Q, the Lost Gospel, the Book of Q. So there's some there. But Q is also believed to be like a series of comms or communications. Q plus in the Patriot movement is believed to be Trump. Q is also a high-level military clearance, as they referred to in the other video, and they believe that probably less than 6 people or so, 6 military intelligence agencies are led by the president of the United States, but it's a very small group, and they're very tight about the information.
I don't want to say You'd be surprised.
So does Trump know who Q is? I think so.
I've only been to Washington 17 times at that time. So I think I might have been in Washington 17 times in my life. And I was in Washington, I think 17 times. All of a sudden, I'm president of the United States. You know the story. With the 17%.
So we know that he loves to say 17. And there's a lot of 17s that you find out there. Whoops, I didn't mean to switch there. There's a lot of things that you see where 17 is referenced, like Biden's 17 recordings, and there's lots of things that reference it. The JFK's plane crash in 1999. DJT was elected 17 years later, 17 days before JR Jr.'s birthday, 17 days before JFK's funeral. JR started flying 17 years before the crash. The plane went down 17 miles off of Martha Vineyard. The plane was reported missing on 7/17. 17 family members attended his funeral. And to the left there, you'll see where his father's buried. I mean, it does look very much like a Q, and that's brought out for you in red. But, how long back has the Q comms actually been out there? Like here we have a 17 gun salute. Was that a Q even back then that they were photographing in 2014? Because normally things are like 21 gun salute and so forth. So 17 gun salute might have been a reference to Q. And then we have even different things. Grassley has 17 tapes. Mark Wahlberg sells his house for 17 million. So there's lots of times that you'll see 17 pop out. Amazon's is sued by US regulations and 17 states. Some people say all roads lead to Q. So who do you think Q is, and what do you think 17 is? Put your comments in the box below.